Today we've got a takeover episode. Wah, wah. This particular takeover is coming straight from a new podcast I've created called the Connect to Market Pod. And it's coming straight to you, straight to your ears. You don't even have to click on anything. Now, Connect to Market, what is this, Casey? It's a new pod, but it's also a community of marketing leaders. And if you like what you hear or you want to join the conversation, come on over. Head over to connecttomarket.com. Connecttomarket.com. All right, let's do this. Welcome to Connect to Market. I'm Casey Cheshire. Join us as we learn from marketing leaders who are driving founder-led growth. We're sponsored by Ringmaster, building B2B podcasts and communities to reconnect you with your audience. All right, let's go. It's not often that I can say this, but I know exactly. This is our second episode ever, and it's going to be so good because my guest today is an absolute badass. She is straight from the community. You've probably interacted. Maybe you were in a breakout session together. But who is she? Who is she, Casey? Dynamic marketing leader. And I don't just use that lightly, like just a random word in front of another word. She is. Like when she's there, you know it. She shows up. She's got great strategies. Marketing leader, brand strategist, a storyteller, and just an AI product pioneer, right? Decades of experience in the high-tech space, especially with automotive. Absolute sage and wizard in that regard. She also is able to organize multiple campaigns across multiple strategies, advertising, branding, you name it. Vice President of Marketing at Blink AI Automotive. Ashleigh Norton, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here with you.
Man, I almost lost myself in your introduction. You need to slow down and do less things.
Yeah, take a nap.
Right. You need a nap, just not right now, maybe after the show. So, hey, I'm excited to learn from you today. I know the rest of the community is excited to not only learn from you, but later on in the show, learn more about you. So I just want to start with this first question that we're really going to start every show with, which is the spotlight is on you. What is the one thing marketers should do to connect to their market?
The first thing you have to do to connect to your market is figure out where they are, right? Everybody's on socials, everybody's online, but not every social media is equal. So if you're B2B, a lot of your business, where I find a lot of our business, is going to be on LinkedIn. Less of our focus is on the other platforms like Facebook and TikTok. And those are some emerging ones for B2B, but those are still very much B2C. And then you have, like you said, storytelling. You have to learn how to tell a story that resonates with your market without more or less bad-mouthing your market, right? If you've got a product solution, kind of solution-centric kind of product, you've got to make sure that you put it in front of them in a way that makes sense to help them solve their pain point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. The idea of like, where are they? Like, how do you find them? Do you just play like Marco Polo, like Marco, and you're hoping your customers will show up, but like, how do you figure out where they are?
Well, LinkedIn, for example, does a really good job of once it starts to learn your audience. So my audience is automotive, general managers, fixed ops directors. Once it starts to learn your audience, then you have to spend time finding them and connecting with them. So, I started with 200 followers and connections, and I'm up to almost 10,000 now by just finding the right people and, again, connecting with them. And what you don't want to do is some of the other sort of practices people do where as soon as you connect with someone, you're sending them a message, I want to sell you something, because that turns them off immediately. So you can say hello once you find these people through the different audience searches and things like that. But you don't want to start off with a bang of, hey, I just want to connect with you to sell you something. That's not how you build a community.
Yeah, right. That's like the worst pickup line ever.
Right.
It's like, who are you? Go away.
Right. It's like walking up to somebody at a grocery store and asking them to marry you,
Right.
No.
Like, what's up? I just wanted to buy some celery. I don't go away.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay. So, man, from 200 followers to 10K,
Yeah.
how did you do that?
lot of sitting on the couch at night and just doing my searches and connect.
Wow.
And, I probably connected with 20 just this morning, just my morning routine of checking what's going on out there, looking at who's commenting on other people's pages and other people's posts, and who's really involved in the LinkedIn automotive community, and just manual connections.
You know what's interesting? Manual connections. Like, this is such a world of automation, you
Mhm.
know, especially in the marketing world, we do this all the time. Tell me about, like, you could farm this out to a bot, I suppose, but why do you make it a morning habit for yourself to do this manually?
Um, well, I make it a morning habit to jump on LinkedIn. It's kind of my release in the morning before I start checking all my emails and my chats.
Sure.
So I jump on LinkedIn, I see who's up, who's posted, who's starting their day strong, and again, who's commenting on other people's posts, because that they're engaged. They're awake too, right? They wanna learn from other people. And I've learned so much from other people throughout the years in automotive, just from that routine.
Yeah. And I mean, this is what I love this conversation. This is going exactly. Um, it's that manual reach out. You have built a network of your customers on your own, even just
Yeah.
doing this discipline, and you're staying that much more informed and you're that much more connected now. I mean, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah, I mean, you can use AI to do it if you want, and there's tons coming out in the industry.
Sure.
I tried one out for business-wise, and it was an AI bot that made up a fake, profile, and it was sending messages to what should be my audience, but the messages were all wrong. And then it would send the same message over and over and over, and within 30 days, I was like, "Absolutely not. Shut this off. This is gonna ruin my reputation versus help it." So, I mean, if you're gonna use AI, pick the right ones.
Do you typically add a message when you're doing your connection request?
No, usually I'll send well, it depends. If it's someone who I've met in the past, I travel a bit with, like, the Fixed Ops Roundtable. So if it's someone I've met, of course, I'm gonna send them a message and say, "Hey, it was great meeting you I was in New York City 2 weeks ago. So, hey, it was great meeting you in New York City. Just wanna connect." Other than that, no, I really just hit the connect button. And then
Really?
yeah,
And these people are just like, "Oh, it's a stranger," and they're probably wincing, though. They're waiting for you to try to pitch them as soon as they
probably.
can,
Yeah,
you
which is
know?
why I don't.
Right, right. Okay, sick. Well, you also mentioned the storytelling and telling the story that actually resonates. I gotta imagine some of these conversations you're having with people help with that, but, like, what are the ingredients that make for a good story? How do you do that?
Well, start by watching and listening and hearing their frustrations and their pain points. A lot of pain points in automotive is how we solve for the massive amounts of communications coming into our dealerships of people trying to learn more about the cars we have for sale, learn more about our products and services and our parts, and people just simply trying to schedule an oil change. So that's been kind of my AI career over the past 7 years is how do we solve for all of the customers trying to contact our dealership without losing our customers through poor, experiences? And that's the story, is our dealerships know that we're losing customers to the aftermarket, and it's not that our dealerships, don't wanna do a good job, it's just time constraints, people constraints, and customer habits of they're all calling in at the same time or they're all showing up at the same time. Everybody has the great idea to show up to the service drive at 8 o'clock in the morning, and suddenly everybody's upset because they can't get in. So that's where my story comes from and how I start to solve that at Blink AI. And I think anything that you are selling or anything that you are marketing should be to solve for something. It should be a gift to the customer.
Where does ma First of all, I'm impressed, like, you clearly have a sense for the pain that your dealerships are experiencing. You see where it comes from, you understand it, and you're, like, ready, waiting to, pull Blink in and help solve that. How did you come into the industry knowing that was a core issue? Were you asking people? You had mentioned, I loved it, watching, listening, and hearing people say these things. How did you accumulate this knowledge?
Well, I started in the industry on the retail side. I was working in a dealership and the phone rang constantly. And I was the only person in the dealership that answered the phone because the payroll lady didn't want to and the parts department was busy. And people would constantly call in and say, I can't get anybody in service. I can't get anybody in service. And they couldn't even get somebody in sales because all the sales guys were on the lot or, out back smoking a
Right.
cigarette. So
If
I
Yeah.
got that experience one-on-one, and then when I moved into the vendor side, I didn't start in marketing. I never really knew I would end up in marketing, to be honest. I started as an account manager. I was a support person training what's called a BDC, or business development center. And those are the people that have to take on the brunt work of people trying to reach the dealership. So training them how to do their job well. And
Yeah.
then I moved up through the years and into sales management, and then ultimately into marketing. So I have a kind of a deep experience in all factors of the world. And I think that that's something that sets me apart in the marketing world, is because I didn't just walk in, wanting to make pretty pictures and brand things. And I really wanted to solve industry issues and also feed my sales team.
Right. And I feel like that desire to help people drives really good marketing,
Yeah.
you know, versus like, I don't really know who these people are. I don't really care to know who they are. I don't really care to understand what problems they have. I have my own biases and suspicions, but I think it's right. And then you just blast off some email campaign and lo and behold, it doesn't work out. And you're like, what? I wonder why.
Yeah. Email campaigns are another great channel if you learn how to do it well. I have a pretty good open rate on email campaigns because, again, I personalize that subject line. My biggest open rate this year was right after a big trade show, and a lot of people got to know who we were really fast. And so I sent one out and it said, Casey, let's reconnect and make some magic. And I mean, I got tons of leads from it because they were like, all right, this is fun, right? It's not just, Casey, I want to sell you something. So
Right, right. And you drop that first name in the subject.
yeah, yeah,
Let's go.
yep.
Yeah, a good subject, like a good human subject, can just be worth its weight in gold versus that classic marketing keyword stuffing. Throw 1,000 things in that line. Oh, webinar Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Pacific. But be there, be square. Here are a bunch of more keywords. You're like, what the hell? Who
Yeah,
sent this thing?
exactly.
It's that human side. I feel like you're very connected to the human side. How do you do that, even though you've got tech in between you and your customer?
I don't know. It's just natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it comes naturally that, again, like you said, if you're looking to solve a problem and not sell a product, then you are naturally setting yourself outside of the realm of normal marketing.
Boom. I feel like that was like the quote of the day. Dang, did
I
you
don't know what
practice that?
I don't know where that came from. What did I just say?
Damn, that was cool. Um, yeah, wow. Grounding yourself in the problem, not the
Yeah.
product. That was brilliant. Sick. Well, like, you've been a member of this community for a bit now. You've been to, several events. What's your take on it? What, any early, do you recommend other people check it out? What are you
Yeah.
feeling?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard for me in the beginning to convince myself to take time out of my workday to join the community and see what's happening. But I leave each session when I am able to join, I leave each
Yeah,
session a little bit inspired, because we're all trying to help each other solve our own pain points in
right.
marketing. And we all go through a lot of the same experiences where we're trying to prove that our jobs are important. We're trying to prove that what we're doing is working. And there's a lot of different ways that you prove that. And there's just a lot of the in between, right? It's the data, it's the people, what people are saying about the job that you're doing. And everybody thinks that they're a marketer. So I think in marketing, the hardest thing is that, you have to prove yourself a little bit, and you prove yourself in various ways, but at the end of the day, your department may be the first one cut if the economy sinks. So I love to join the community and hear other people and how they solve for data segmentation issues and things like that.
Yeah. I totally feel that. Same thing happened. I think it was, I don't know if it was yesterday, but almost every time, we share like the groupthink problems that everyone's trying to
Mm,
solve or kind of vote on them. And there's a couple of problems that I won't even name because I don't want to the guilty or the innocent, but people were look, we like kicked all the meeting recorders out, right? So we're able to like have like real transparent conversations. And there were a couple problems where someone replied back like, "Oh my gosh, I thought I was the only one dealing with that." And it's like, no,
no.
no, we're all dealing with that. And it probably fits most of the problems on there, but there were a couple in there that are like not the ones that normally get stated a lot. So I think it's great to be able to hash that out with people.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So I have this fun next question for you. It's a two-parter. And the idea is to really like, hey, let's send a shout out to the community. Um, what is one challenge you'd love the community to reach out with experiences or thoughts or ideas? And then what is an area that you're happy to share your own experiences on? Like what that you're really good at?
One area that I struggle with is the time management between all the different tasks that get thrown at you. You're kind of you're the catch-all department, right? You have to write the decks and you have to get the emails out and you have to get the socials out and you've got to make sure the sales team is fed and you got to make sure the sales team is happy. And so I struggle a lot with the do I say yes or no kind of situation. And I'm a yeser. Yes, I'll do that. Yes, I'll get to that. Yes, I'm on it. So that's my biggest struggle, and something I've tried to work on myself over the years. Um,
That's hard, right? I'm the same way. I'm just like it's like whether I'm even thinking or not, I'm like auto saying yes to everything and then getting in trouble for it afterward. And it's like,
exactly, because as soon as you sign up to do something, then that's your job for the rest of your
that,
career. Like, you
yeah.
said you'd do it this time. You said you'd build a sales deck this time. So now it's your job for the rest of your life. So
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that. I was just thinking of like the first, situation. But you're right. Like, oh yeah, you took on that hat and now you're wearing that.
that
Wow,
is your
building a
hat.
sales deck. You think maybe sales could build a sales deck, but that's just me. I don't know.
Exactly. Who built the sales deck before I got here?
Right. Seriously. So, okay, and then what's an area that you feel pretty confident in, you could definitely help out other people in the community?
I feel very confident in the networking, side of
Mm,
things. I was just this week at Northwood University, which is an automotive university, and I was with the Fixed Ops Roundtable and TED Ings, and most of the people commenting on the panels were, "Well, Ashley knows everyone. If you need to find someone in the industry, Ashley knows them. She's already got the connection." Networking, building strong connections with people, um, yeah, I'm a good relationship builder, I think.
that's amazing. It totally fits with what we were talking about at the very beginning. And yeah, if you've got 10,000 people in a particular niche industry, you are the connector, right? You are the one that knows everyone. So, um, and then that just makes you that much more present for everyone else. That's cool. Okay, great. So people in the community can reach out to you.
Yeah,
It will share information at the end about how they do that for either the strengths or the challenges with the time management. And definitely forward those along to me when you get them because I can use that too for sure.
absolutely.
Well, like next question is really what excites you about the future?
Um, Honestly, AI excites me about the future.
Yeah.
I was with a group of students this week, and we asked them how do they embrace AI, and their teachers are teaching them how to use AI better, how to use AI to streamline their efficiencies, how to use it so that they're reading what's important and they're not just skimming through a book and hoping to get through a test. So the use of AI in education, the use of AI in communication, uh, in market studies. I use it every day to continuously study my market, and my competitors, and so I think AI is here. It's here to stay, and it's here to help our jobs.
Do you have a particular do you have a favorite platform? And then like what's your go-to, like how often are you interacting with it?
My go-to is still ChatGPT,
Yeah.
because I've used it for a few years now, and so it knows who I am. I you can always tell if somebody's, like, gone on ChatGPT and said, "Hey, write me an article," and they throw the article up on LinkedIn or whatever without customizing it, without personalizing it.
Yeah.
But ChatGPT does a good job of just remembering, what I call the RAG, everything that you've taught it about yourself, about your industry, about your company. So yeah, I use it all day. I use it to ask where this dealership is, who's the GM at this dealership. You can feed it different landing pages and say, hey, where would you tighten up this landing page? Which I think that one's fun because once you build a website, that's your baby, right? But
So true.
so you get kind of this ego thing, and then everybody's got an opinion, but ChatGPT is the opinion that I'm going to listen to of, how do I make this more user friendly or better readability, those kinds of things. I recently discovered Gamma too for
Mm.
building and editing pitch decks.
Oh, sick. Um, do you what do you give it? Like, do you just give it some text that you got from ChatGPT, or like how much do you have to give it?
Yeah, most recently, I gave it my pitch deck, my sales deck, and my boss and I had been speaking about, hey, we want this to be less product heavy because our salespeople were focusing so much on the product and not the problem. And so
Mm.
I literally just fed it the deck and said, clean this up, tidy it up, and make the intro more about the pain and solution kind of thing. And it did a really good job. Um, I fed it a one pager. It did okay. It gave me some ideas, but it didn't give me like, a final product. But it's good for idea building.
Yeah, and I'm curious. I just went ahead and clicked, and I'm gonna have to play around with this thing afterward. Yeah, get some visualization there. Sometimes it's like, how do I best describe this, solve this? Man, you're right. AI is just going places. Have you done any of those conversations with it, like the voice mode?
Oh, no. That is one area that kind of scares me a little bit because it can impersonate people so much that it could be
Mm.
like a little dangerous. So no, I have not played around with that. I played around a little bit with picture editing. I don't think it's where it should be. Um, if you try to give it like a headshot or a body shot, you end up with, six fingers on one hand. You're have a whole new hairline. Like it's just it's a little scary.
I have
And
seen that. They're like, where did that leg come from? Whose body is that attached to? That's weird.
yeah, yeah. So you use AI, but use it ethically and properly and intelligently.
Yeah. I will say, someone, and I'll keep all the names anonymous, but someone in the community event yesterday mentioned training ChatGPT to know uh, a lot about his leadership team and his CEO, and then he bounces stuff off of it specifically, and he goes, this is how I feel about that. It gives him a chance to try it out on. So now he knows to always provide this one person three solutions, this other person the top, and he kind of like is able to use like a mock team to bounce
For
ideas off. And I was like,
communication.
that is brilliant, dude.
Yeah, one thing I started using it for, I could be a very direct person and sound too direct in written communication, like text
What
or
does that
email,
sound like?
you know? Uh,
I'm a damn product.
right. No, well, I mean, like, internally communicating with your
Sure,
peers,
I'm the same. Yeah,
responding to somebody making a suggestion where you're like, "Thanks for that great suggestion, but, that's stupid." So, instead of writing that, you write your email that you think you wanna write, and you give it to GPT and say, "Make this more professional, friendly, polite," and, it can be a good use to soften your tone and have better internal working relationships. But I like that idea of like knowing the personalities of the people you're talking to. Some people you
yeah,
need to come to them with all the information, and some people are just like, do not tell me how the sausage is made. Just tell me when it's done. Like, I don't
yeah.
care.
Tell me what I can eat
Yeah.
for sure. Damn. And I will say the voice mode thing, it's worth experimenting with because I found, you go for a little walk, you throw in the voice mode, and you just have a conversation about a concept even.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that part.
Yeah.
No, I thought you were talking about, like, the creating fake voices. No, I didn't know you could
No,
do
oh,
that.
yeah, no, like ChatGPT will do it, Grok will do it, all the other ones now, and the voice mode is interactive, so if you start talking, it shuts up. So you can interrupt it, and you say, "Hey, what do you think about blah, blah, blah?" Sometimes the best thing I've loved saying is like, "Hey, what am I missing here? What's my blind spot? Like, what am I not picking up on?"
I like that. I love that. Good takeaway. Yay.
Yeah, yeah, and you just figure out the right voice for you, so you're like, "Oh, that person's so friendly."
Yeah,
Um,
I need him to be, like, Australian or something.
yeah, yeah, and one particular yeah, they have different modes and whatnot, and one time, I was just like, "I just need to talk through this issue." So, did a really good job, almost like a counselor being like, "Okay, tell me more, like, what's your approach to this gonna be? Or, like, how do you feel that, this is gonna go down?" And then I was, like, telling all this stuff. It really helped me sort of, like, get the ideas on paper, if you will. But then at some point, I was like, "Okay, let's shift up a little bit. Thank you for asking me a lot of good questions. Time for you to start showing me the wisdom of the universe that you
Yeah,
know from all your neurons. Please start sharing with me, some best practices here." And it did. It kind of switched modes over to that,
I like
but
that.
it was good. All in a conversation. You got my steps in.
Yep, good to go on a walk every now and then.
Yeah. Yeah. So really my next question is like, who are you? Who are you? How do you know all these things? Can you take me back in time to like little Ashley days? Did you know you're gonna be an absolute marketing boss telling people what is up?
Absolutely not. I wanted to be a meteorology boss and be the
Hell
next
yeah.
Jim Cantore. So I went to college for communications and atmospheric science. I got 2 degrees in that, and then out of college, I did one intern at a news station, but at that time, life was changing so fast that that's when I took a job at a car dealership and ended up in automotive. If you don't wanna end up in automotive, don't ever start because 'cause you'll never get out. Um, but yeah, I never envisioned the love that I would have for this industry, the amount of money you can make in this industry, and then the love I have for marketing.
Wow. You know, so does that mean like if I gave you a green screen, you would just totally rock that thing and be like, "Oh, we got the high pressure system over here." So atmospheric science?
I'm a little out of practice. I mean, it's been 20 years since I graduated, but not 20 years, but
Yeah.
15. But yeah, I'm a little out of practice. I could probably rock it though. We could probably do it
You know,
together, you know?
yeah, yeah, for sure. I'll be like, and back to you, Ashley.
And back to you, Ashleigh Norton. Yeah.
So, but like I did comm too, and that's kind of like, you can make of it what you will, but actual atmospheric science, like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of work. But comm was fun too. I liked, that it
Yeah.
teaches you how to do those market research and things like that and communication laws and things like that. I mean, it definitely helped in my career. It's not a throwaway degree, but I don't th- I don't know very many people that are like, I want to go into marketing when I grow up. They just you end up in marketing.
Yeah, it's like we don't necessarily know what it even is, right, at the
Yeah.
beginning. We
Yeah.
just sort of it finds us or we find it or somehow we get thrown into that category and we go, "Oh, yeah, okay.
I can do
Yeah, I
that.
think this works.
Yeah.
I can do that." So, real quick, how much BS is modern meteorology? Like, how much can you accurately predict? What's the inside scoop?
Um It depends on who you're watching and what
Oh.
outlet. So there's a meteorologist here, chief meteorologist Brad Panovich, that's who I interned with, and he is so straightforward in his approach that, he's got, like, a fan base because he'll tell it like it is, the news wants the meteorologist to tell them that it's gonna snow, just in case it snows. Well, Brad will tell you it may, but it's probably not. So I think it really depends on who you're watching, it's not a
Yeah.
50-50 chance, it is definitely predictable, it's predictable down to what time and how much, but you gotta find the right person.
Can we talk about the 50% chance for rain? Does that literally mean it's like a coin flip?
No. Now, any of your percent chances for rain, it means in that area, 50% of that area is going to see rain during that, say, hour.
What?
Yeah,
It's not a probability?
it's not a no, it's not a it's going to rain or it's not going to rain.
Are you for real? It's what percent of that area is gonna get.
Yep.
I'm this years old when I learned this on this show. Damn, I learned about marketing and the weather all at the same time. All right, I've got a hypothetical question for you next. I
Okay.
hope you're prepared.
Yep.
Okay. See, I may or may not have a time machine up here in New Hampshire. So you come to an automotive event up in Boston, swing by, we get some beer, some lobster, and we try out the time machine. But it's a particular kind of time machine, and you go back in time to 4 days after you graduated with the calm and the weather science. What do you say to yourself? You get to have a conversation with yourself. What do you say?
That's an interesting hypothetical because if I went back truly, right after I graduated, I had a pretty tragic death in my life,
Oh, no.
and it took me off course, very much to the point that I ended up working at a car dealership and not doing my internship at the news station anymore. So
Yeah.
I would say I should have focused on my mental health a little bit better back then,
Yeah.
and stayed focused on what I wanted to do and not just surviving tough times in your life.
Yeah. Man, do you think you would have listened to yourself if you blew back in a time machine? Like, who's this
Nope.
crazy lady?
No, but I wouldn't change my life for anything. So
Yeah. It sounds like it worked out in the end, and you found yourself in an industry that really needs you,
yeah,
you know? I feel
yep.
like you're bringing some science and some class to an industry that typically everyone hates on. They love to hate on,
They
you
love
know?
to hate on it. True. Nobody
Man,
loves to go get their car fixed.
no, for sure. And you're right, we can never get to service, ever. Well, hey, where do people, if they wanna reach out, they wanna connect, learn more about you, more about Blink, where do you want them to go?
Yeah, definitely go find me on LinkedIn. I'm there. Ashleigh with Leigh Norton. You'll find, or you might have to look me up as Ellis. I don't really remember. No, I think
Oh,
I
yeah.
changed it to my married name. Yeah.
We'll link to it so
Okay.
people can just click. Just
Yeah.
a little lazy click. Just touch your finger on the screen and ba-bam, there you go.
I'm there. Reach out unless you're trying to sell me something.
Right, and in which case, don't.
And then with Chase, don't.
But definitely let her know that you found her from this podcast and tell her she did a great job on this thing. Man, Ashleigh, thank you so much for coming on here,
Thank you.
schooling me on networking, teaching me about the weather. Damn, I feel like I've learned too much today. I feel like it's a fluke.
I've learned a lot from you too, obviously.
Yeah, totally. And for those listening, I hope you learned something, because I know I freaking did. I literally have 2 pages of notes over here, front and back. Then share this with someone else. 1 person, 2 people, 3 people. Be a thought leader. That's what it is. Get good information in other people's hands. Next time you get a terrible LinkedIn message, send them a link to this episode and be like, hey, time to school yourself. You need to do it the right way. Do it the Ashleigh Norton way, you know? And with that, Ashleigh, thank you again.
Thank you so much.
All right, everyone. This has been a crazy cool, very exciting episode of the Connect to Market Pod. We will see you all next time. And that wraps up another episode. Thank you for joining. For show notes and other episodes, visit us at connecttomarket.com. Connect to Market is sponsored by Ringmaster, creating podcasts and communities that create relationships, generate revenue, and drive growth.